Welcome to The New Next, a podcast that addresses current events and how they will impact the future. Co-hosted by the inquisitive public speaking champion, Mike McVeigh, and energy, economics, and technology expert, Matt Jensen. Join us as we explore all things energy, economic, tech, and political, and how they will affect our future. What would you think if I gave you $7,500, but you could only use it if certain criteria was met that is almost no chance of happening whatsoever? Doesn't that sound like a great deal?
Sounds like a horrible deal.
That's not the way to think. So we talked recently about the new, the LOL bill is what Matt calls it, but the Inflation Reduction Act. And we're going to talk just a little bit about something he mentioned with electric vehicle tax credits. You can get up to $7,500 for a new car, $4,000 for a used car, which sounds great until you realize that we might not hit enough batteries, and so we're not actually going to spend the money. It reminds me, oh goodness, there's like a game show or something that owed millions of dollars to its contestants, but then it went bankrupt. And because of that, none of the contestants got any of the money. But this is what it makes me think of. Like, one person early on will get the tax credit and no one else will. So we'll go a little bit more detail on this. Not a whole lot, because this is boring. I mean, that's why I had to make such an interesting commercial.
Well, for the new cars,
go ahead, Matt.
Part of the requirement of this, the Inflation Reduction Act, which I think is LOL for its naming, is that it calls for U.S. made batteries or domestically sourced minerals in the car, or someone with a free trade arrangement. That doesn't include China. That there's a lot of these are made, so it would be kind of like South Korea, U.S., Germany, for instance, Mexico, but there's just not enough capacity right now for that. So I think it's kind of like we're talking about this kind of a reference from MIT Technology Review, and their basically realization, and something that we talk about a lot, but I haven't done the math on it, is that there's not enough of either. Basically, critical minerals that are sourced through the U.S. or batteries made in these countries to really allow EVs to take off with this credit. So the used cars, the $4,000 credit isn't related to this, but the $7,500 credit is. But it's
okay. Sorry,
like a lot of the people buying EVs are trying to buy new EVs.
It's another restriction
these days. I think it's about 5% of annual sales volume right now as of 2020. So we'll see how this really plays out from a policy perspective if it makes it in the final bill. But it is, I would say, it's a good incentive to build out these domestic industries and industries for our free trade partners like South Korea, Germany, Mexico, etc., Canada. But if it doesn't, then it's kind of like one of those things where it's just, a dud, kind of a nothing burger. So MIT Technology Review wasn't too high on the prospects for this, but I'm holding out hope. So we'll see how it goes.
Aww. If you would like to learn more about the New Next podcast, find us at thenewnextpodcast.com, where you can suggest a topic you would like for us to cover. If you enjoyed what you heard, share the podcast, tell a friend about it, or rate us with 5 stars.